the deceased Trinidad. And we are going to use the glorious mystery because we're supposed to recite, and even in the Mass, we celebrate the Mass of the living and not of the dead, because we know our sister physically died, but spiritually she is alive. And so we start in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into heaven. On the third day he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven and is seated at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. From there he will come to judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Amen. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For increase of faith, hope, and charity, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is also
Strong and bright, gentle mother, peaceful dove, teach us wisdom, teach us love. Aking buhay, ikaw at ako'y daming handog lamang, di ko ninais na ako'y isilang, ngunit salamat dahil may buhay. Ligaya ko nang ako'y
daily born to be mocked, to fall into the hands of your enemies, through the treacherous gift of Judas, to be bound and brought to the place of sacrifice, like the lean lamb, brought before Caiaphas, Pilate, and Herod, spat on, accused, and condemned with false witnesses, to be slapped and have your sacred body covered with wounds from the cruel scourging, to be crowned with thorns, your face covered with a purple cloth in mockery, stripped of your garments, nailed and elevated on the cross between two thieves, as if you were one of them, offered gall and vinegar and drink, and to be pierced in your side with the lance. Deliver, O Lord, the souls in purgatory from their great sufferings through your most bitter passion. Bring them to your glory, through the pains of hell, through the merits of your holy passion and death on the cross, so that we may enter the kingdom where you brought the good thief who was crucified with you, who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Live.
My mom was born in Sophia Copies on March 14, 1946. She had 4 brothers, Enrico, Raimundo, Pampilo, Julito, and sister named Gia. Her mother passed away when Nani was younger. Nani's dad, Severino, remarried and had a daughter named Salome. They ended up living together with her stepmom, but the relationship was strained between the stepkids and the stepmom. So Nana spent most of her time at their Aunt Dulcing's house. Nana treated her Aunt Dulcing as her second mom. In those days, going to school was not a priority. As a young girl, you were obligated to help care for the home, while the young boys worked on crops and fields, and in the fields. So Nana didn't have a chance to go to high school. Around the age of 20, she had her first child, and her She had her first child named Henry, my brother Henry. For some unknown reason, Nani's father, Henry's father, and Nani's father and brother forbade her to marry Henry's father. Nani moved to Manila. She lived with her cousin Lucy and worked as a cafeteria type restaurant, which Aunt Lucy's sister Margie owned. There she met my dad, Leonard. He would often sit in the cafe reading his newspaper. I asked Nana, what did he do? Nana said, nothing, he just sits there and just drinks his coffee all day and watch and just read his newspaper. So Papa finally had a chance to express his intention, and finally told Nana that his wife, Pasita, had just passed away, and showed her the obituary in the newspaper. Papa started hanging out with Nana, but there's one big problem. There's a guy who liked Nana, and he worked as a taxi supervisor. He was in love with Nana and very aggressive and carried a gun. Nana told Papa, Nana was worried Papa carries a gun, and this guy carries a gun too. So I believe that she advised my cousin Lucy to return to her hometown in the province. So my mom went back to the province. Then one day, they saw a taxi pull up to their house, and men got out. They looked out the window, and Nana saw Papa and her brother together. Aunt Lucy contacted Nana's brother and helped Papa to find the place. Nana was looking down from her window and saw Papa getting out of the taxi holding Spam and cigarettes. Within a short time, Nana's father and brother loved Papa. Her brother removed a knock to the door of the room, and she was in and asked her if she wanted to marry Papa. Raimundo said that they liked him and that he seemed like a nice guy. Usually a woman didn't have a chance to decide because family has to give approval. Nana said yes, but I'm not sure if she knew that Papa had 7 children at home. So they got married, and Nana's family all pitched in, supplying food. In the province, of tradition, people give chicken, cows, pigs for weddings. Now they moved to Manila. Nana finally met the children. We asked Nana if she really liked Papa when she first married him, and she said, no, but I don't believe her because Papa was a nice guy and good looking. Nana added, but when I saw the little children, I feel sorry for them, and I grew to love Papa. That's what she said. At Papa's house, Nana was known as Aunt Trini by the neighbors and not as the wife of Papa. Similarly, Papa's children knew her as Aunt Trini. Next thing you know, Nana had June, then Leo, then Nila, then me, then Nila, then Lonnie. Papa and I started raising 13 kids. As Papa's new children from Nana came along, the older children from Pasita took care of them. At the Virgin, DJ took care of June, Leo, Nila, at the Virgin, and DJ took care of June, Leo, and Nila. After Vivian took care of me and Nila, and later Helen was able to help out with Lonnie. Hey, it worked out pretty good for Papa and Nana, aside from free babysitting. They named their chores like washing clothes and dishes and making meals and cleaning. So we all grew up together and loved each other as a full siblings. As Papa and Pasita's children grew up, got married and moved out of one by one, other people from the province, like my uncles and cousin, moved into our house, and they can start an opportunity life in Manila. Also, my brother Henry came to live with us, We only had 2-bedroom house, but somehow we were able to manage to fit. We also started getting closer to Papa's children by his first wife, Leonora, with Cecilio and Leonard Jr. Cecilio and Leonard Jr. would come and visit us, and sometimes would drop by during their work hours. As I mentioned earlier, all 15 of Papa's children treated each other as full-blood siblings. I believe this because the relationship fostered by Papa and Nana. Nana didn't just focus on the needs of her own children, but treated Papa's other children as her own. I used to question Nana, why are you so cheap? Then I realized, as I grew up, there was a lot of us to feed and care for. I don't even remember celebrating her single birthday of Nana. I didn't even know the date of her birthday. Nana liked to save money any way she can. She would make sandwiches for us to take to school so she could save money instead of buying lunch at school. With Papa and Nana tight budget. They were able to send us to private school in our early elementary years. Then in later years during public school, Nana gave us 10 cents like that one, enough to buy a Nutri-Bun. Nutri-Bun is those leftover government flowers, with little bugs in it. At first we were not used to eating it, but later we got used to eating it. I'm sure my brother and sister have their own stories about Nana's being cheap. She always say, walang pira. I started to believe that we are poor, but I've seen Nana constantly helping relatives and neighbors financially. When people are in trouble or in need of money, they always seem to come to Papa and Nana's house. I grew to understand that Papa and Nana were always there to help. Even in arena, I saw Papa and Nana readiness to help. Even many of you here talk today were helped by Papa and Nana's generosity. Nana's always urged Papa to move to the United States. I also remember Papa answering, "You want to move there? In the United States. In the United States, you and the children have to go to work. And here we don't even have problems sending the kids to college." But Nana kept pushing the issue of moving to the States. So on November 1st, 1982, Papa and I moved here in the United States. Later, Papa went back to the Philippines to pick up Nana, Nida, and Lonnie. He was gone for a few months. Then I remember one night, I was cooking fried chicken, and someone rang the doorbell. Then I remember one night, I was cooking fried chicken, and somebody rang the doorbell. I opened the door, and I was shocked to see there's Nana and Lonnie and Nita standing in the doorstep, like, what are you guys doing here? They didn't even call me. They didn't even tell them they were coming. I was happy to see them. That was a snowy March of 1983. Then Papa and I took them to Salvation Army to buy them jackets because they had no winter clothes. The next plan was to find Nana and Nita jobs, and then enroll Lonnie in grade school. Kuyaling was living with us and knew some people at Sandown Casino, and was able to find Nana and Nita a housekeeping job. So we were happy that we all had a job. I was a dishwasher, Nana and Nita were maids. I thought dishwashing was hard, but I felt sorry for Nana and Nita. Nana was 47 and Nita was 16 years old. Both of them cleaned 17 to 18 rooms per day. And a few months later, you can see the brown marks on their calluses on their knuckles from tucking in the sheets in their beds. I felt sorry for Nana, especially me, who was only 16 years old. Both Nana and Nina worked with sound artists for a few years before Nana started working at Circus as a porter and Nina at Harris as a bus girl. We were happy as a small family in Reno, and later, a few years, we started looking for a house. We bought a house, and Nana ended up working a second job at the Resident Village because Papa's pension was just not enough to pay for the mortgage. Nana had 2 jobs until she retired at the age of 62, about 13 years. Those were some hard 13 years for both Nana and Papa's lives. Both had to get up at 4:30 in the morning for the day job at Western Village and would go home from night job at Circus around midnight. Later, Nana started taking bus from Western Village to Circus and used that time to sleep. She didn't get paid that much, but she loved her job. She was a hard worker and seldom called and sick. There are many times during winter that she was very sick. Her nose would be dripping and red, and she still chose to go to work. Yes, winter were hard for both Papa and Nana because they were both to leave the house extra early and go home real late, sometimes past 1 o'clock because of snowy road. Both had only 2 to 3 hours sleep. Nana may not have completed high school, but she taught herself how to speak English. Sometimes we make fun of her the way she speaks, you know? But she was able to communicate with supervisors and bosses to get them to hire relatives and friends and find a job for them. Even the relatives, before he moved to the United States, he was already talking. Hey, find my job for my relatives. It's not because she wants something in return, but she does it with a willingness to help. She didn't make a lot of money per hour yet. She didn't make a lot of money per hour, yet she was able to give financially to those in need. Here in Reno, here in the Philippines, even this week, before she passed away, she woke up one morning and told me, hey, we need to say hi to Lola Dosing in Lola Madre in the Philippines. Lola Dosing was still her aunt in the province. She took care of Nana when she was young. Nana never seemed to forget where she came from. She sent boxes in the province in Manila, Even the calamities, especially the Typhoon Yolanda, Nana was able to send money to those relatives who lost their homes. Also last week, when Nana and I were talking to my sister Helen in the Philippines, Nana said, Larry, are we going to send money to Helen, Gilbert, or Albert? I told her, oh, I think it's good. I already sent money next time. Even with her dementia, Nana was still able to bring out her generosity toward others. Living in the United States gives us opportunities and material things. I owe it all to Papa and Nana for pursuing coming here in the States, even though they were old and gave out a lot to come. They did it for their children. For those of you who enjoy the life here, with nice house, cars, and phones, clothes, remember the sacrifice of Nana and Papa. I would like to thank those people who cared for Nana and cared for and loved Nana. Just treasure those times and we have with Nana. On behalf of our family, I would like to thank you for coming and celebrating the life of Nana.
Grandson. I want to thank you all for coming. Your attendance here speaks volumes about the impact that this wonderful woman had on all of us. The saying goes, everybody dies, but not everybody truly lives. But Grandma's journey has been a full and rich one. The proof of that incredible journey is the strong legacy she left behind. Her husband, Leonard Sr., 7 children, Enrique, Leonard Jr., Leo, Leonila, Larry, Leonida, and Lonnie, and 19 grandchildren, as well as Grandpa's other children and grandchildren who she loved and cared for as if they were her own. This was her family, and I know she was so incredibly proud and protective of each and every one of us. The last clear exchange Grandma and I had was 2 Fridays ago as I was going home, when I said, "I love you, Grandma," and she replied, "I love you, Opo." The thing is, our Grandma's love is pure. It does not require words because it's in everything she did, and that's real love. Yes, you can feel love, but love is about actions more than it is about what you say or even feel. She taught us all the importance of family, the importance of sticking together and enjoying each other's company. She really nurtured her children, who now in turn nurture their own children embedded in the same core values. And so her legacy lives on, strong, solid, and unbreakable. I think if there's one way you can ever really live forever, then it's through those you leave behind. She was perfect, perfect in every respect. Her laugh, her smile, her big hugs and kisses, they were perfect, and she was the perfect grandmother. And we are all a little closer to perfection to have had her in our life. I love you, Grandma, and I'm glad we have shared a relationship that has overlooked age, created so many wonderful memories, and one that will last a lifetime until we meet again. And also, I'd like to read my mom's. Mom. This is from my mom. Losing a mom is a pain that cannot be described in words. A mother's love is truly irreplaceable. Nane, your death has caged me in pain, agony, and misery. But at least now I know you are free from pain and suffering. Nane, your memories are my life's only solace. I miss you so much, Nane. You will always live in my memory. When I was a child, I kept wishing to grow older so I could finally move out and do things on my own. But now I wish I could just turn back time to be a child and hug you again. I feel like a child wanting to go back to a time when I felt safe. I felt loved and had nothing to worry about because you were always there to comfort me. Your death has made me realize that every single moment we spent together, I wasted an opportunity to tell you how much I loved you and how important you were to me. I know you're listening from heaven above. I just wanted to let you know that there's nothing that I value more than your love. No matter where I am, what I am doing, your memories will keep me smiling, but deep inside crying because I will miss you so much. Again, I'm so sorry for all the things I've done and said to you, and all the things that I didn't do that I shouldn't have done. Thank you for the love, support, and most of all, thank you for being there for me when I needed you the most. I love you, Nane, and I will miss you so much. Thank you for being my mom. Until we meet again.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul, also one of the many grandchildren. Thank you, everyone, for being here during such a difficult time. Death is never an easy thing, but with the strength of family and friends, this obstacle becomes a little bit easier to overcome. Now, when it came to finding strength in our family, there was no better focal point than my grandmother. She was the true embodiment of what our family represents. And through what I've learned from her, there are a multitude of ways to measure strength. All right, the first being the strength of selflessness. I could never imagine picking up everything I knew, everything I had, and immigrating to a new country, not for yourself, but instead for the promise of opportunity for your children and future generations, for as long as I can remember. For as long as I can remember, anything she was ever concerned about was someone, somewhere, for some reason. Whether it was as simple as making sure I ate everything, making sure I had something to eat for what seemed like every hour. Or calling up every phone number that was in her address book. Or worrying about a faraway relative. She always gave and never asked for anything in return. I remember fondly those Christmas parties when all the grandchildren would line up for her Christmas present. You guys remember that well. It was a plain white envelope with your name scribbled on it. As a kid, I was overjoyed. But as I grew older, it was never really about the present itself. Instead, I viewed it as a culmination of all her hard work in life, but wanting to share the fruits of her labor. She worked so hard so others wouldn't have to, and I carry that trait with me every day. My grandmother also embodied the strength of love. Oftentimes, when you lose someone, your first inclination is of guilt or the feeling that the opportunities were missed. With my grandmother, I know she loved each of her kids, each of her grandkids, each of her great-grandkids. If there was ever a way to describe a mother's love, she's the one I would point to. I was fortunate enough to know her for every grade school musical, every award ceremony, all my graduations. And I know she loved me more than I could possibly know. And the pride and joy she had at every milestone in my life. I do worry about those missed opportunities, or times I could have been a better grandson. But at the end of the day, all that's left is love. The love I had for her, and out of what she had for me. That is my lasting impression, and one that is ingrained firmly in my character. Lastly, and probably most impressively, my grandmother always displayed the strength to endure. She was always strong in her faith and strong in maintaining her morals, values, and ideals on life. The world may sometimes be cruel, but she endured enough hardships and sacrifices to last a lifetime. I may never see those same hardships in my life, but she stands as one of the most important and influential people, and the reason I'm fortunate enough to be standing here in front of you. So with that, thank you, Grandma, for the sacrifices you made so the family could prosper. Thank you for allowing me opportunities I will never take for granted. Thank you for teaching me to be selfless and care for others. Thank you for teaching me the value of hard work while remaining humble. And finally, thank you for teaching me what it really means to be strong, even in the most difficult of circumstances. You're in the hands of God now, and I know you will rest easy, away from the pains of this world. I love you, Grandma, and I'll miss you dearly. Most importantly, though, I'll never forget how you stood to be the strongest person I'll ever know.
Hello po. Ako po si Chin. Sasampa ako ni Gra. Hindi ko pa totoong grama si Grama, pero siya po ang nag-gusto ko po Grama. Yung lola ko sa dad's side ko, namatay 4 months pa lang ako. Yung mama naman ng mama ko, hindi ko siya nakita. Pero masasabi ko lang, for past few years, lagi ko nakasama si Grandma 4 to 5 times a week. I'm gonna miss those Thursday night. Lagi siya sa bahay namin. Pag pupunta ako sa bahay nila Grandma, madalas siya nagpagawa ng kape, tapos bigla siyang mawawala. Nasa room na niya siya natutulog. So tatawagin ko siya dahil yung kape niya malamig na. Madalas din niya, pauwi na ako. Mahilig siyang sumitsit. Sasabihin niya sa akin, uuwi ka na. Tapos tatawagan niya nanay ko, nandiyan na si Ching, kasi kanina pa siya umalis eh. Pero kakalis ko lang sa bahay nila. Pero lahat na ngayon mag-mix ko kay Grandma. I love you, Grandma. Thank you sa inyo lahat sa punta dito at nakikiraman eh.
Thank you, Jing.
Ako na si Virginia, ang second family. Lumaki kami sa Rugani Grandma. Grandma ang tawag ko sa kanya. Kasi nasanay ako sa Mata at Patrick. Siya ang nagpalaki sa amin. Siya ang nagturo lahat ng mga dapat namin matutunan. Pati ang pagtitipid, ang pagluluto, ang paglilinis ng bahay. Siya ang tinutuloy kong nanay. Siya ang taong napakahilig tumulong. Marami mga kaming nakatira sa bahay nung araw, pero halos lahat ang kamag-anak niya sa aming nakatira. Kaya nakita ko kung paano ang pagtitipid mo sa amin nung araw. Halos ilang oras kami sa palengke, paikot-ikot, naghahanap ng mura. Para lang magpagkasya niya sa amin. Kahit na may asawa na kami, andiyan pa rin siya. Tumutulong sa amin, nasa tabi namin. Sa oras ng panganganak namin, nandun siya sa tabi namin. Hindi na ako pinamamayaan. Kahit nandito na siya sa Amerika, lagi niya kami tinutulungan, hindi niya nakakalimot ang magdadala sa amin. Pera man o box. Lagi kaming meron galing sa kanya. Ngayon, hindi ko akalain napaka-exit. Hindi ko siya masyadong napagsilbihan na kagaya ng ginawa niya sa amin. Dumating ako ng Amerika. Siya ang gumastos sa lahat ng gastos namin, sa lahat pati sa mga anak ko. At siya rin nung nagpasok sa akin sa trabaho. Lagi siyang nandyan, lagi, kahit kailan. Siya ang taong napakabilis lapit. Ako lagi itong sinasabi sa mga anak ko, mga anak. Hindi tayo makakarating dito kung hindi sa lolo niya at sa lola niya. Yan ang huwag na tayo kalilimutan. Lumingaw kayo sa pinanggalingan niyo. Mahalin niyo ang mga tao na nagmahal sa atin. Kalma, patawad, di kita masyado lalagaan. Mahal na mahal kita, Grandma.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Trinidad's grandson. This is not really that memory, but it's a letter to her before she goes to heaven. It goes a little something like this. Dear Grandma, even though you have passed, I know you can still hear and see me. Doesn't matter day or night, I know I'll always be in your sight. Up in heaven, I know you will forever be happy with that smile you have engraved in me. Wish I could write you a letter and tie it to a kite. Or better yet, send you a big cake and you can bite it. I always remember those eyes of yours. It was always shining right at me. As if you were always telling me through this life, we live and we fight, everything will always be alright. Thank you for everything you have done for me and our family. Thank you for helping me the man I wanted to be, tall, humble, and manly. Until we meet again, Grandma, I'll keep this saying close to me. You will be missed, but never forgotten. Not now, not in eternity. Thanks again, everybody.
Hi everyone, my name is Miracle and I'm Leo Annabelle's daughter. And this is an open letter from my grandma as well. My earliest and cutest memory of you, Grandma, was when you would sneak cookies home from Western Village and hand it to me and my brother in the car when we would pick you up from work. You loved to share everything you had. You're the most selfless person I've ever known. Not only do you like to give, you're also the best example of forgiveness. You never held a grudge against me, even after the countless times I scared you out of nowhere. You would scream a little, curse me out in Tagalog a lot, and put in a little act as if you were mad. But moments later, you always asked, "Kumain ka na ba?" Yes, Grandma, I ate already. However, Lola, since you left us, I haven't eaten as much. No, I'm not dieting. I'm heartbroken with the loss of my grandma. At work, when I help an elderly lady with their makeup, I think of you, and I regret never being able to make you look maganda. But really, it wouldn't be hard. You're a beautiful grandma. Please know that everything will be okay. You left behind a close-knit family whose bond will never be broken. We will overcome struggles together, and we will continue your legacy of giving and forgiveness. I love you, Grandma. Please watch over us until we meet again.